Just letting the live stream up, so please bear with me. Getting there slowly. Okay, so this evening I've had the chance finally to sit down with the simulator and work out how it works, and I spent some time at lunchtime reading the documentation and finding out all the key bindings and things like that. So a little bit more comfortable with the simulator now, so I thought we might go and have a crack at some of these missions. So following doing the private pilot's certification in the career mode, so I went through and I actually skipped all of the lessons. I didn't do sim controls, I didn't do aircraft essentials or anything like that. I jumped in straight in at the first solo and then did the private pilot license and got an A basically, and that was on my first go at it. The day, or was it Wednesday, when we realised we could use VPN to get at the American servers, but it's all fixed now anyway. So I got my private pilot's license, and that unlocked missions. And I've done one, but I thought we might go and look at some more. So if we can click on missions, what it appears to do is, based on your location, it opens up missions around the local area of wherever you said you were going to be flying from. So I said Booker Airfield, which is just down the road from me in the real world. So let's go and say a scenic ride, or that's really close to Heathrow though, which will be a bit of a nightmare. What about this one? A vista of Aylesbury with Jane. I have no idea what this is going to be. So let's go and click on this mission. Presumably it's going to zoom in now. I'm going to go and turn off the head tracking because I think it will be disruptive. So it's showing us the route that we're going to be doing. So Jane Nolan is surprising a colleague with a flight to see the city she grew up in. She hopes it will be a joyful moment they can share together over Aylesbury. So I'm just looking at live stream comments, and someone's saying pro tip, and they're saying what type of missions to bother with. I've not seen any of this yet, so for the benefit of everybody, I'm going to have a crack at it. So Mr. Bullseye is saying, how is the sim working for you after these few days? It's been absolutely fine after about day 2. So accept mission. I just haven't had time to touch the sim. I've been so busy with work and home. I've not had any chance. So accept the mission. So make sure my controls are in the starting positions, and we're going to find out what happens. So the client is Sarah Ashton for Hulton Flying Club. So mission criteria: 28,380 experience points. I guess that's the maximum you can earn, is it? I don't know. Let's go do it. Or do we have to look on the... Will this show us our flight plan? We don't have to file it, do we? No, it's actually got the flight plan in here, look, already. So if we go and change this to show the satellite view, maybe. And can we center this up on the aeroplane? There we go. So I don't know if anybody else has noticed this yet, but this tablet actually is available as a website. There's a flight planning website, and I was stunned earlier. I was having a dig around looking at it. It's got all of the... If you do an IFR flight plan, for example, it's got the Lufthansa charts in it. So how on earth Navigraph are going to make any money anymore, I don't know. They've just had the rug pulled out from underneath them spectacularly. Anyway, I'm not going to look at that on today's video. That was a bit of an aside. So we're going to go and do this mission. So there's a bit of a preview of what it's going to look like. We're going to close the tablet. We'll have the tablet in the airplane anyway. So let's go fly our mission. So Mr. Ball also said, is this locally hosted by the sim, or it's all online? Everything's online. But they appear to have acquired access to all of the Lufthansa flight charts. So I don't know if you remember, about 6 months ago, Lufthansa came out with a flight planning application. It looks like Asobo saw that and said thank you very much, and licensed it. Anyway, so here's our things we have to go through. So if I right click, so if we press backspace, we can walk around and see ourselves. We can go and do a silly dance on the way to the aeroplane. So let's go and remove. So I'm going to go press backspace again, and we'll go around the aeroplane. Obviously it's highlighting things we need to do, which is quite interesting. So we can go and click on the chocks, remove the engine cover, so it's all the usual things. And then remove the pitot cover, which is under this wing. So go click on that, and then remove the static port cover. Then we can press Shift-C to get inside the aeroplane. You don't have to go and do the ailerons and the elevators, just to show you that you can if you really want to. So we'll duck down underneath the wing, and we can go and give the ailerons a waggle, or we should be able to. Is it not going to allow us to do it? No, there it goes. We just weren't close enough to it. So anyway, we don't have to do that. We can press Shift and C, go straight in the aeroplane. So that's that done. Press Enter to request boarding.
Ready for boarding, Sarah. Well noted.
Oh, here they come. It's very cool, isn't it? So this is in 1080p on purpose because I'm pushing out to YouTube at 1080p, so there's no point going in 4K. Control E to complete startup procedure. Can I not do it myself? Well, we'll press Control E because it told me to. Presumably later missions will ask you to do it yourself.
Ready for a quick spin around the area? Captain, please welcome aboard Jane and one of her colleagues. We know them well here and wanted to treat them to a flight over their place for a while. Everyone comfortable? Get ready to depart then. Engine started?
Yep.
Let's go.
Okay. So you press Enter to announce taxi and control
Echo
space.
Golf Whiskey November traffic Cessna Golf. Romeo Foxtrot India uniform is taxiing to runway 20.
Okay, so it's going to give us all of the markers and everything, which is a bit silly, but there you go. So we'll sit up as much as
Captain.
we can.
I'm Jane. Can't wait to be looking down at my hometown. Hey there, I'm Sarah. It's so great hanging out with you today.
They are such AI voices, aren't they?
Flying.
So, spoiler, I have got head tracking working. So, while we're taxiing out, should we go and switch it back on? So I can press Alt and 7, I think it is. Oh, it was already doing it, wasn't it? Yeah. So, we have got head tracking. I will do a video later on how I got it working. But it makes it an awful lot easier to see around and to fly. So just taxiing out across the field. It's a grass strip here, obviously. Just seeing who I'm flying. So where are they expecting me to go? Down to the marker, I guess. It's a huge field here, isn't it? So go down to the marker and then turn around, I suppose. I've spent so long using A cars and things like that, I'm petrified of taxiing too fast. I'm already taxiing too fast, really. Because you get marked down on A cars clients with the big jets for taxiing too fast. We have to come to a stop. The runway isn't marked out very well, is it? And the head tracking is really ropey. I'm going to turn it off. Hang on a second. Is this supposed to be runway 20? No, it's not. Yeah, this is super glitchy, isn't it? Let's go back round. It wants us in a very specific place on the grass, look. And it's now drawing circles all over the place. This is all a learning experience, and you're seeing the hard way of how not to do this. So take off from runway 20. Now we're in the right place, in an unmarked runway. So we want about 55 knots for rotation in a 172.
We're off? Yes, we're flying. Awesome.
So there are keys we can press to make our life easier. But they don't appear. They appear to be disabled when we're in mission mode, which is a shame. For the VFR view. Climb to 850 feet. So we're doing that now. Okay, there's 850. Do you know what? I might put head tracking back on because it makes it so much easier, even if it is a little bit unstable. So do we just fly through the boxes for the whole of the flight? This could get very boring very quickly, couldn't it? So let's put head tracking back.
The world looks so detailed from up here.
Is it going to let us? Is it going to work? Okay, so what has happened to the engine?
The look on everyone's faces when they see the pics on my socials.
We have lost the engine. While trying to get the... we hit a bug again. While trying to get the... I'm just looking around to see what it might have done. Why do we have no power? It cut the mixture. There's very odd keyboard combinations where you've got... It reminds me of WordStar many years ago.
My state of mind says we're up really high.
Yeah, so let's see if we can get this working. So... before we go any further with the flight, I'm just going to check something. So if we go into settings and we go into controls and keyboard and we search for head, and we want Alt and 7 should toggle head tracking off and on. Okay. And it's working.
Will we see the office? Would be fun. Sure.
Yeah, the head tracking isn't very smooth. That's the problem.
Over there. Nice. Everything down below looks so tiny.
So was it Alt and 7? So I'm guessing they want us to go in on this side. They want us to be below 87 knots.
I'm going to get whiplash trying to look at everything.
It's a bit of a nightmare, isn't it? Until we've got good head tracking, this is going to be almost impossible to follow a nice plan and get to look around easily. Especially in planes like the Cessna, where you have to duck to see under the wing roots.
We're going too fast. I expected flying to be more like meditation.
Or she's not going to be happy then because I've gone too fast. So really then the missions are just a mindless flying exam every time to keep the person happy. So I'm probably going to get massively downgraded for this one because I went too fast and I wasn't at the right altitudes and I was messing around with the views en route because as usual I treat everything as a test flight. It struck me going for below 80 whatever knots it was around that turn. That's almost a slow flight exercise.
It's like the world is laid out in front of me.
But we live and learn. We'll figure out what it scores us on along the way and do better on the next one. I hope there's not too much of a grind involved in just mindlessly doing missions to achieve enough points to unlock things. Okay, so presumably it's going to draw me a pattern. Or maybe when we get to the market it will draw us a pattern. So looking at the map over there, we're about to do a right turn.
I see you're on your way back, guys. So Jane, did you enjoy the ride? You ready to do it again?
Whenever you want to do it again, I'm ready. Great time from start to finish. Thanks, Captain.
500.
Yeah, but she's still going to give me an awful score, isn't she?
Echo Golf Whiskey November traffic Cessna Golf. Romeo Foxtrot India uniform 1 miles north 700 feet inbound to land runway 20. Echo Golf Whiskey November traffic Cessna Golf. Romeo Foxtrot India uniform is on final runway 20 to land.
Smooth as silk.
Not really. Okay, does it not think I'm at the hold? Oh, we have to go to the hold short further on. That was great instruction then. So it told us to go to 1, then it vanished it and told us the next one. May as well put the flaps back up now. To be honest, I can't really see the point of the missions, but there you go. But that's from somebody who spent thousands of hours messing around with simulators and doing proper procedures and flying with ATC on group flights and all sorts of things. Most grass fields haven't even got an ATC, so this is all a bit mad really. You would just announce position, which is all we were doing, wasn't it? We were just announcing position to anybody that's nearby, so you don't cause havoc.
Echo Golf Whiskey November traffic Cessna Golf. Romeo Foxtrot India
Did you notice the grass moving behind the propeller? Oh my word. I hadn't noticed that before. Watch the grass. I'll hold the parking brake on. Ready?
No easy to win over the locals, but seeing them smile says it all. Well done, pilot.
There we go. Well, considering how badly I did that, I'm surprised at that score. So I still got an A. What does S mean then? Super duper. Nevado Paul says, I can tell your frustration. What is your frame per second? I've locked it at half refresh rate, I think. Or at refresh rate. I think I locked it at refresh rate, so it's going to be going for 60 frames a second. Or trying to. So what does that give me? Reputation update. +2 bonus for each mission. And it's taking me up to level 4.
You've built up enough flight hours to be eligible to take your CPL.
That's a commercial pilot's
CPL,
license, isn't
you can
it?
begin to get paid for successful missions.
So if I go to certification, I can now go for a commercial pilot license. Allows you to fly an airplane for financial compensation and embark on your journey as a professional pilot across a wide variety of activities. So they're going to teach you about trim, teach you about departure and navigation, teach you about dead reckoning, heading and time estimates, interesting, landmark navigation, and arrivals, following VFR procedures to land. And then first solo navigation, complete an entire VFR flight on your own. Interesting. So, take the exam. Purchase. Oh no, I've used up all my credits. So, will it tell me where the corners are going to be? Or this is the last step before becoming a professional pilot. To receive your commercial pilot's license, you will have to complete a new checkride consisting of a cross-country flight between Van Nuys and Bob Hope airports in Los Angeles County. If you need further information, today's flight plan between Kilo Victor November Yankee and Kilo Bravo Uniform Romeo has already been loaded into your aircraft's... Oh, so it's already loaded in. ATC interactions are expected. That's fine. So it's briefing. You'll be expected to start your aircraft, taxi towards a designated runway, stop at hold short, align with the runway and take off once you reach 55 knots, merge into the traffic pattern by climbing upwind until you reach 1500. Fly crosswind, so I ought to write some of this down. Have I got a pen and paper? Oh. Steal a piece of paper out of the printer. I'm just going to make some notes. So, climb upwind until you reach 1500 feet. Crosswind, climbing towards the end of the traffic pattern at 2100 feet. Follow VFR navigation, recommended cruise speed 100 knots, so 100 knots cruise. Slow down, start the final leg when you're aligned with KBUR's runway. But if they've got a flight plan in the navigation system, it'll be fine. Stored speeds are stored. I wonder if I can turn the autopilot on then. Just let the airplane fly it. Okay, let's go and do it. See what happens. So I'm just reading the notes there with people saying, how did you get past customize identity? Okay, we're going to have to go and remove everything first. If you're having problems getting into the sim, but the network is up and running in your part of the world and it's all working properly, as it should be, go and right-click on Flight Simulator in the Start menu. Go to the Properties of the application and reset the application. So I'll show you where it is. If you go, I've got it set in here, but if you go to Flight Simulator, go to App Settings, and scroll down, do a repair and reset, and then start your simulator again. It will wipe everything on your computer about, configuration, and it will start it as if it's a new game. So if it has lost data or become corrupted when the servers weren't working, that's how you'll get around that. Okay, so let's go and get on with this. So we're going to go over and do everything we need to do. So we remove the pitot cover and the chocks and the covers, and the static port, while we think of it. And then Shift C puts us in the aeroplane, except it hasn't. It's put us outside. So backspace gets us inside. Control E, so it remembered we were outside last time. That's interesting. It's not forcing us.
Checkride, the last stop on your way to become a true professional pilot. For this checkride, you will complete a cross-country flight through Los Angeles County, taking off from Van Nuys Airport and then landing at Bob Hope Airport. You can start when you are ready.
They didn't put the beacon light on, did they? Or the taxi light, or the nav light. They didn't do the fuel pump test. Oh my word, what are they doing? So they just want us to do some basics, really, don't they?
Van Nuys ground Cessna Golf. Romeo Foxtrot India uniform with Papa request taxi to the active east departure.
Cessna Golf. Romeo Foxtrot India uniform taxi to and hold short of runway 16 right via taxiway Alpha 1 Charlie. Contact tower on 120.2 when ready.
Oh, this is just child's play, isn't it? We don't have to look at the map or anything. Wonder if it penalises you for taxiing too fast. The only thing I'm worried about is the brakes are rubbish. So stopping can sometimes... Look at that, it was full brakes and it wouldn't stop. There's a lag on pressing enter as well.
Romeo Foxtrot India uniform at runway 16, right ready for departure, east departure.
Today would be good, tower. This is like real. We haven't been given clearance, it didn't tell us anything.
Cleared for takeoff, runway 16, right Cessna Foxtrot India uniform.
So this is buggy. Take off, so it's telling me just to take off, not to hold. Not to line up and hold. But before we do that then, let's go and put the landing lights on and put the pitot heat on. Do things properly, hey? Put the strobes on. We don't need the flaps for this little runway. Or big runway, I should say. So climb 1500 feet in a straight line basically. It's hardly taxing, is it? So we probably want about 75 knots in the climb. Should we try and do this a bit better this time than we did last time?
Cessna Foxtrot India uniform continue for east departure.
Van Nuys Tower, Cessna Golf. Romeo Foxtrot India uniform continue for east departure.
See how to marker. So it's tuning the radios for me. Wants us to climb up to 1900 feet. Maintain 1900 feet, come what may. Okay, we're about 20 feet high. We didn't calibrate the altimeter either, did we? It didn't ask us to. There's an awful lot missing from these pilot tests. Reach long final entry, so we'll maintain 1900 feet. Land on runway. Is this really the whole mission? Is this a cross-country flight? What about changing sectors and... Oh, it's VFR though, isn't it? But even so, where's all the radio telephony?
Burbank Tower, Cessna Golf. Romeo Foxtrot India uniform is 4 miles west 1,700 feet with Juliet to land.
Be interesting.
Golf, Romeo Foxtrot India uniform Burbank Tower. Altimeter 29.9. Make straight in runway 8.
Make straight in runway 8 Cessna Foxtrot India uniform.
Cessna Foxtrot India uniform follow the Cessna Skyhawk on final. Wind 258 at 6. Cleared to land runway 8.
Cleared to land runway 8 Cessna Foxtrot India uniform.
They're bringing us in incredibly high, aren't they? We're way above the PAPI lights. It's almost like the person that built the mission had never flown an aeroplane. So we'll just get through this last rectangle and then we'll dive for the floor. And get onto the PAPIs and the proper glide slope. There we go.
Cessna Foxtrot India uniform, turn next taxiway. Cessna Foxtrot, India Uniform, contact ground on 123.9er.
123.9er Cessna Foxtrot, India Uniform. Burbank ground Cessna Golf. Romeo Foxtrot India Uniform taxi to parking.
Cessna Golf, Romeo Foxtrot India Uniform taxi to general aviation parking using taxiway Delta 7.
There was a glitch there, wasn't there? And we can't follow the taxiway too accurately because we'll swipe the Mooney and... Oh, it's a Bonanza, wasn't it?
You performed great today. Keep the same attitude, and I'm sure that you will have a great piloting career.
That's a little bit better. Yeah, respect the taxi path look. Because I didn't drive into things, I got penalised. Great. It's very simplified, isn't it? It's good fun, but airline pass allows you to fly an airplane for financial compensation and embark on your journey as a professional pilot across a wide range of activities. Next.
Congratulations. Now you are able to earn money for completing missions.
Next. So then I can go and do an instrument rating. That'd be good fun. Allows you to navigate when you cannot fly using visual references. You will no longer be grounded by cloudy, rainy, snowy, or poor visibility conditions. Trouble is, I already know how to do all these things. And far more than the tests are testing us on. Commercial pilot's license. For, night rating, okay. So it's just going to be a night flight, isn't it? Well, I guess it's kind of interesting. Should we go and see what missions we get now then? I can now do ferry flights. Are they marked differently on the map, maybe?
You're ready to take the next step. I have a mission lined up for you. Prove you can handle this, and more opportunities will come.
So he's not going to give me a choice. I have to go do what he says, I guess. Oh no, these are. Oh, these will actually pay me the credits. What's the highest earning one then? Derby with Laura. That's similar that we've already done though, isn't it? 1350, 1400, Banbury. How do we do one of these ones then? Ferry flight, returning a 172, difficulty 1 star. We'll have a go. The head tracking's turned back on again, hasn't it? It's a bit random whether it switches on or not. So we'll accept the mission and see what happens. Okay, so we're back into the fun and games of wandering around the airport, getting it ready. So remove those. Remove the static port. Remove the chocks, which are hidden in the grass down there. Remove the pitot covers, and we should be ready to go. I thought I'd removed the chocks. I have now. And then Shift C jumps in. And it's remembered we were outside. So was it Alt and 7? Yeah, it was, to turn that back off. I'm going to turn the head tracking off. Control E. It stuns me that they're not getting you to start the airplane properly.
Thanks for accepting the job. I'm your contact here. Today's lucky bird heading to Numajendran is this charming little 172 Skyhawk. The owner's aircraft was in for maintenance, and now that it's fixed, he wants it flown back. He is already waiting for it. His name's Mr. Michael Klimek. Now give this beautiful bird the VIP treatment it deserves. Take care.
Echo Delta Romeo Mike traffic Cessna Delta. 2 Bravo Yankee Tango is taxiing to runway 36. Delta Romeo, Mike traffic Cessna, Delta. 2 Bravo Yankee Tango, taking off runway 36 departure to the south.
So, I'm just having a quick look. So Shift and F10 gives us a bit wider view. Okay, so we're just going to backtrack down the runway, basically. Similar to the other mission we did. So if we press Shift and F11, that gives us a bit nicer view, doesn't it? So this time we'll stay on the taxiway, come what may. Okay, are we going to have to drive through a tree? Oh no, it does turn before the trees. Okay, here we go. Knots, 55, and gently rotate. Let the speed come up to about 75 knots. 1400 feet for our initial climb. Okay, where's next? Flight to climb to 2400 feet. Interesting. Okay, we're not on the track because we didn't turn early enough. And without head tracking, it's almost impossible to spot that that's happened. I mean, it's kind of good fun, and trouble is, if you want to fly it accurately and get the best scores, you're not going to look outside. It's a bit like when you're doing an IFR flight with radio telephony. You concentrate so much on following procedure and hitting targets that you don't ever look out the window. Especially if it's a complicated SID or a star, or if you've got holds involved or anything like that. You're just concentrating on following instruction accurately. Just trying to trim my sight a little bit. There we go, I don't have to hold the stick now. Starting to roll left a little bit. I'm not sure if that's the wind doing that. Can we go and... Oh, they won't let us play with the PFD. Rubbish. So we can't use all the avionics. We just have to mindlessly follow the altitude. Oh, we can, sorry. It's just me being an idiot. What I was going to say is... There's one knot of wind. Okay. So that's torque rolling the aeroplane then. I'm just putting some elevator trim into... Sorry, aileron trim in to stop that. Oh, we've gone high. We get told off for flying too high. That's the penalty of using touchscreens too much. You forget that some of these use soft keys underneath the screen. It would be nice, wouldn't it? I'm just reading the live stream comments there from people. It would be nice if, particularly for a test, if you weren't told what to do next, and it just gave you the bare framework of the mission. So you had to start the aeroplane, and it marked you on doing things correctly, following the checklist. Maybe I'm... Trouble is, they're trying to turn it into a game that people who are not so obsessed with aviation can get some fun out of. If it takes you a month of practicing to pass your private pilot's license in here, you're going to lose the audience instantly. Interesting. Follow the traffic pattern. Fly to final. Where's the rest of the pattern gone? So I presume we carry on down here even though the sign's gone. Okay, so where's the airfield? Yeah, this is all a bit silly. I'm just looking for the airfield to see if I can get some bearing of where we are and what it's expecting. Okay, I see what it's doing. We are in the wrong place. So we're going to follow what's on the map. It's just marked horrendously. It's going to do a figure 8. It's a good job I looked, really, wasn't it? So we want to end up going south in a moment. It wants us up there. This is horrifically marked out. They're not close enough together for them to have done this pattern, and the fact they vanished when I needed them didn't really help, although maybe I should have been looking at the plan all along. I'm going to stall in a moment. I'm pushing this a bit too hard. See what they're doing now, but the fact these weren't drawn and you couldn't see anything for a while, it was only luck that I thought, oh, let's go and have a look at the tablet. I guess what we could have done is gone, will it allow us to do it? It hasn't drawn it, has it? So if we go back here, yeah, it's expecting us to go straight line and then round to the right. Even so, look, it's not matching the path at all. I wonder if there's a way of moving the tablet to bring it closer across the cockpit. So, someone's asking on the live stream, I just caught out the corner of my eye, what my opinions are so far. Actually flying around is brilliant. Just doing a free flight and messing around is brilliant. I think the missions are really for the gamer crowd. They're not accurate enough to challenge anybody that knows much at all about aviation. And that probably sounds like a very aloof thing to say. But there's so much missing that you might have expected to have been in here, but then you would have lost the audience of the non-aviation crowd instantaneously if you had said, well, you know, you taxied too fast, you didn't have your beacon light on, you didn't have your strobes on the runway, you didn't have the landing lights on, you didn't turn the landing lights off above a certain altitude. There's about 60, 70 things it could have scored you on that are just normal procedural things for a private pilot. But it's not, the missions are not taking any account of any of that.
500.
Oh, sorry, the pilot certification tests, I should say.
Echo Delta Romeo, Delta Traffic Cessna Delta, 2 Bravo Yankee Tango is on final runway 27 to land.
Yeah, so someone has commented, said the tests are too arcadey. I think it's a matter of audience is the problem. But it sounds incredible, it looks incredible, the physics seems very, very good. It's just these procedural things for the mission part of it. I don't know. It's been fun to have a look and see how it works, and you can understand how it would appeal to some people. But I think I'll be more inclined to go and test myself against real-world procedures. And, you know, go and do some practice of real-world exercises, you know, like standard rate turns, coming into your own wake turbulence, recovery from unusual attitudes, short field takeoff and landings, stalls, spins. I haven't tried spinning it yet. Whoa, what's happening to that truck over there? Has he got some of those street shock absorbers or something? He suddenly started bouncing.
Echo Delta Romeo, Delta Traffic Cessna Delta, 2 Bravo Yankee Tango is taxiing to parking.
I'm sure the trip had its challenges, but I hope my plane didn't take too much of a beating. Thanks for your hard work.
Well, we didn't stay on the path at all, did we? I'd be amazed if we get... Oh, this isn't a certification though, is it? Oh my word, we still got 91%. And yet we completely lost the track at one point. Okay, that's a bit odd. Wonder what S means. It means I'm special. So we get 1,000 credits for that, apparently. And a little bit more reputation. And level 6. Whoa, what does that mean? It means I get a sticky badge.
You've made good progress so far. I think you will need a space of your own. You can take this desk. It's been empty for a while.
Oh, I get a desk. Oh my word, I'm flying a desk now. Going up in the world. Does the autopilot not work? It should do. Should I go and do a free flight? Okay, we've done some missions, which was the title of the video, I guess. We can see how missions work, and it's just more and more of the same. Let's go and... Someone's asking about autopilot. Let's go and have a play with autopilot, shall we? So, free flight. We've got the Cessna 172. Which one are we going to use? We've got the Asobo Studio. I've got the cargo one at the moment. Let's go and have a look and see what there is. The G1000 and livery. What liveries do we get? The official livery, that'll do. Save and back. Save and back. Shall we go and fly somewhere in the US just for a bit of fun? Let's try somewhere we've seen years ago that I used to do lots of test flights out of. D83 Boonville. Or not. Oh, I've typed it in wrong. That was rather silly of me. D83 Boonville. That's better. Just north of San Francisco. So if we go and put ourselves on the corner of the apron down here, and we'll go and have a proper fly of the Cessna, shall we? We'll have a fly around. Oh, I need to turn the head tracking off again, don't I? I'll wait till it comes back down to the cloud. So yeah, Tobii haven't officially fixed it yet, so I'm using OpenTrack to get the head tracking to work. Oh, we got an F-18 here at Boonville. I'd love to see him take off from this runway because it's only about 2,000 feet long, maybe. Okay. So let's go and get the chores out of the way. Don't reckon much to the cloud. Should we change the weather? That's although it might be fun to fly into the cloud, see what happens. So let's go inside the aeroplane, and now I did look this up, didn't I? What was it to turn the head tracking on and off? Was it Alt and 7? It was. Let me write that down. Actually, let's try it. So if I press Alt and 7, and then Alt and 8 should reset it, except it doesn't because I've got my head slightly skewy to do that. So Shift and Space would straighten me up. Okay, so using a combination of both, I can almost get the head tracking to work nicely. So yeah, it sort of almost works nicely, but it's not softened enough. It's reacting too much to me. And I think that's just because it's using OpenTrack. So the trick with it, if you have got a Tobii, you install OpenTrack, you set it to UDP over network, output to FreeTrack 2 enhanced, and then you clear out the filter. And I think there was something I had to do in options, and I can't remember what it was. Oh, in the translations maybe, or outputs, I had to reverse the x-axis. And then you start it, and the sim sees it instantly. Yeah, so and then Alt and 7 turns it off and on. Yeah, but when it is on, it's actually quite useful. But yeah, it's too. It doesn't soften it enough. It's too jittery. But I don't know why. Anyway, we were here to go and look at autopilots, weren't we? So we'll go and arm the standby battery. We'll do this properly, shall we? Do it the real way instead of the simulator Control-Shift-E way. So we look down at the floor. We go and put both tanks on. And then we make sure that the mixture is cut off. We go and put the standby battery and alternator on, and you will see the standby battery has gone off of the annunciations. And we look at the voltages, and they're all going to be fine because the simulator never goes wrong. Famous last words. Beacon to on up. Throttle to 1/4 of an inch in, or I could do that with the controller as well, couldn't I? Mixture all the way into rich, and then we're going to go and put the fuel pump on for a few seconds. And then take the fuel pump back off and put the mixture to about 1/3 of the way in. Throttle can stay where it was. Magnetos to start. And then we can go rich. And then we increase throttle for 1000 RPM. So we're a little bit faster. It's just at the top of the left-hand side of the primary flight display. So we confirm the pressures are coming up, oil temperatures coming up into the green, oil pressure's already in the green, everything's looking fine. We can press comma to calibrate the altimeter. So there it goes. So we can go and put the taxi lights tube on and the nav lights tube on, and we can taxi to the runway. So we can press shift and space, come off the parking brake, and should we see if we can make this go up a little bit? There we go, up a little bit. Oh, we haven't put the avionics on. Completely missed it. Give it a few seconds for the GPS to wire itself up then. And you'll see the radios will come alive. There they go. Okay, so which way is the wind? Where's the windsock here? This is where it's useful to be able to... There's hardly any wind. We can get the PFD to show us the wind as well from the sensors on the aeroplane. And it says no wind data, which is useful. Is that because I have taken the covers off, haven't I? Yeah. So now why is it showing me? I'm just going to go and have a look. I've obviously pressed a button somewhere that's showing me taxiway hints. So settings, access, is it in accessibility? Or assistances. Gyro drift, flight path, oh there we go. I don't want that and I don't want that. There must be a keyboard key that makes that happen. So let's just taxi across the grass. So parking brake on for a moment. So if you're going to do things ultra correctly, what you would do is take it up to 1800 RPM now. And you would then go down here and switch over to each of the mags to see how much it drops. So discrepancy between the two of them and the overall drop, which should be no more than 150 RPM as far as I'm aware. So we're ready to take off, so the landing lights can come on, pitot heat can go on. If we have a transponder, which we do, we'll go and turn it on. You You can do that during taxi as well, so people can monitor where you are. Oh, if you're going to be using autopilot, just before we do go, it's worth setting the target altitude. So on the G1000, you rolled it, and you'll see the number changing here. So we're already at 400 feet above ground level. So we'll go for, say, 5,000 feet. We'll have to play with mixture as well then. So full throttle, keep an eye on the RPM, because you can, or you should be able to overstress the engine, but I'm not sure if they'll let you in a Sobo version of an aeroplane. They're usually a bit dumbed down. So they probably will let you get away with having it full throttle all the time. So you can see the wind is getting underneath those wings and tipping us around. The physics is very good. So we'll just hold runway direction for a while. So it's press backspace so we get to see it from outside as we climb out. Nothing like a bit of horrible weather. Don't need flaps on a longish runway. The Cessna just doesn't need them. If you're doing short field, then you would. So we'll turn gently out across the valley. There's a turn rate coordinator here. I don't know if you've noticed this on the G1000. It tells you your turn rate. The first white marker is a standard rate turn. So if you line it up with it, then you're doing a standard rate turn. Obviously it's up to you to balance the forces. But if you've got a flight plan programmed in, the radius of the corners on it will be standard rate turns. Nothing like live weather in the sim, is there? It's great. So we'll just get this trimmed out. And still climbing. Okay. I'm just trimming the ailerons because it's trying to torque roll gently left all the time. Okay, so what we're going to do is press the heading bug, which does... Oh, actually, you can't do that then. I thought you could. You have to roll the heading bug to get it back. Can we hold shift down with it to accelerate it? Not really. And it doesn't accelerate with going faster with the mouse either. That's a bit of a shame. So we're just bringing the heading bug round to the direction we're flying. So your autopilot modes are across the top of the primary flight display, reflecting what you've chosen. So the autopilot toggle is over here. So you can go heading mode. You can pre-select it before it's switched on. And it will be pitch mode when we switch it on. So if we go autopilot, it's on. We're in pitch hold mode and heading mode. So it's chasing the heading bug and doing whatever the pitch is saying. So we could go flight level change if we wanted to, or we could say vertical speed mode. And then you can use the up and down buttons to change your target vertical speed. So if I said I want to go at 1,000 feet a minute, the airplane will try to do it. I wouldn't try and do that in a Cessna. You're probably about 500 or 600 feet a minute is good enough. Okay, so it's following the heading bug and it's following the vertical speed, so you can see that in the modes. And the autopilot button switches them on and off. What am I doing? I was going to go and open... Have I got Navigraph running? Yes, I have. Whoops. So if we go and... Why is it not following the aeroplane? Unload. New flight. There we go. Ooh, you could do a trail as well, mate. That's interesting. I've never seen that before. So the reason I wanted to get the chart, we're still climbing up towards 5,000 feet. You can see on the synthetic display, even though we can't see any ground, the rain is streaming over the aeroplane, isn't it? So here we go. There's Mendocino Ukiah VOR 112.3. So we'll change this away on the CDI mode to localizer mode. We'll go on nav 1 and change it to 112.3. And you can see it's picked up the signal, and we can spin the course knob around. Course is the triangular. So that will be directly to the beacon. So if we spin our heading bug around to go towards the VOR, the aeroplane will turn and follow it. As long as you're not too far away from the course you're wanting to get to the VOR, you'll be able to engage nav mode, and the aircraft will intercept the course deviation indicator needle automatically. You can turn off this synthetic display as well. So if we go to I've forgotten how you do it. PFD options, SVT, that's it, synthetic vision. So you can get rid of the terrain if you don't like it. So we're flying in towards the VOR. We can see, if we go PFD options and pull up distance measuring equipment, you can see the distance to the beacon as well. If we wanted to go directly towards it, we don't have to necessarily line the needle up. We could fly the course we want to fly, but if we want to go directly towards it, we just line this up and then press nav, because we're already on the course. So this says VOR now on the autopilot panel above the primary flight display. So it's chasing the CDI needle all on its own. So you should find now, yeah, we're flying in towards the Mendocino VOR. Where could we fly? I guess we could go down towards San Francisco, couldn't we, for a bit of a Santa Rosa, down towards the bay. So if we wanted to leave Mendocino on that southerly direction, we could go and program a route in, I guess, and go GPS. It's more fun doing radio navigation though. But say we wanted to, leave this on a course. This is where Navigraph kind of falls down a bit. We can't draw on the map, can we? We can only draw on charts, which is a bit of a shame. It's lovely weather, isn't it? So what we could do, if we'll try this out. I did it earlier and it seemed to be okay. So we'll go and put our flight plan in. Departure airport is going to say none, of course. Oh yeah, maybe we can't because we haven't filed it ahead of time. But we can program into this after the fact, I think. So flight plan, yeah. So we go and let's get this yoke out of the way. Is it shift and 2? We're about to go right over the top of that VOR, by the way. So before we do anything then, let's go and turn our heading bug round and get ourselves going at least down towards San Francisco. So we'll go heading mode. So it's there, and it's starting to do the right turn towards the heading bug. The aeroplane's bouncing around in this rain, isn't it? So we're at least going to be going the right sort of direction. So we'll say 150 degrees for the moment and leave it going. And we'll go and program some routing in. So if we press shift and 2, we come over to the navigation display and we put the focus in here. He says famous last words. Why won't it let me? Have they changed this? Seriously? Have they broken the G1000? You should be able to push this in to give yourself the focus in the display. I think that's a bug, so we can't program routes. We could do it via that if we could get to... Oh, it's a real pain, isn't it? We're stuck in a corner with the flight plan. So we are stuck doing radio navigation. Because what you should be able to do is... Let's just make sure this isn't a clipping issue. That mouse should be turning into a pointer to press the knob. The reason for that, if I show you, push cursor. So you push the knob in, the cursor should arrive in this dialogue. Oh my word, they've really messed that up. You know, that makes sense now why the heading bug didn't center. There's something obviously broken in the aeroplane. Because I couldn't push the heading knob either on the G1000. So they've got some work to do, haven't they? So you can see here, if we wanted to, let's go and open LittleNavMap, it'll make a bit more sense being able to, it's much more visual in LittleNavMap. So there's our aeroplane, there's the, so we went measure, so we'll set that as a departure, add that to our flight plan, and we're flying south down the bay. So we'll go down towards the Point Reyes would be a good one, wouldn't it? So 60 miles. Oh well. So 11370. So we're just flying a heading at the moment anyway, and we're in heading mode. So we change the frequency to 11370 on Nav1. Switch it to active, fling the course around, he says, famous last words. So it's 56 miles out in front of us. It's a shame that you can't accelerate this with shift, it's a bit of a pain. And then go nav mode. And that's going to fly us straight to the Point Reyes VOR. He says, famous last word, why is it turning away? Oh, it's trying to get onto the radial. So what it's trying to do is fly a course of 148 degrees in. This is on 145. So if we were to go and add a position, we can simulate what it's doing. It's doing that and countering the wind. But it's trying to go for 148 degrees and somewhat successfully. But you can see, yeah, it's turning the nose into the wind. You can actually see it visually there. So I'm going to get your name horrendously wrong, but Guilo Molfesi is saying that you can push the knob, but not on this one you can't. I wonder if it only works on the primary. Oh my word. So it doesn't work on the navigation display, but it does on the primary display. That's interesting. So we could program our route in now. So we took off from D83, wasn't it? And press enter. Boonville, California. runway, press enter, we don't need to know about runway, and then we can roll the enter knob to come down to destination, and we can say we're going to, where are we going to end up eventually? San Rafael maybe, CA35. So if we roll the inner knob here and then click the keyboard, we can go CA35, San Rafael, California, press enter. We're not really worried about a runway. And then en route we went via the ENI or Mendocino VOR. So ENI, enter. And then we went to the PYE, Point Reyes. So if you don't know, Point Reyes is where the movie The Fog was filmed. Was it PYE? So that should do it. And then if we look over here, we should have our flight plan when we zoom out. Or not. It's being a bit rubbish, isn't it? Oh, it looks like it hasn't confirmed the rest of the route, which is really odd. It's not taking any account of the en route waypoints. How strange. This is a bit broken, isn't it? Oh, we are coming out of the wind and the rain now. Ah, so someone's telling me that you can press both together. So if I press flight plan and then press, you're right. Oh, that's got to be a bug though. You shouldn't have to do that. That's crazy. Oh, and it's actually come up now. Look. No, so this is bugged to hell. When I did it on this screen, oh, yeah, it's bugged. Look. So if you come back out of here, so clear that. When we press both, it shows it. So it's just not loading it. That's what's wrong. Why is it not? It should just work. This is really, really odd. Oh, I wonder if it's just because it's lost track of the leg it's on because we programmed it after the fact. So if we said flight plan, come down and go, we're going for PYE at the moment, so press menu, activate leg, enter, enter. There we go. That's what was wrong. I'm a bit rusty with the G1000. Should we speed up a bit? No, we're already doing 90 knots. Why are we going so slowly all of a sudden? Maybe the engine's overheating. Let's go and pull the throttle back. Oh, we've got no... Well, the mixture's not leaned out and we're at 5,000 feet. And the power can come back a bit. have some sunshine. I'm just reading the live stream comments there. I've always bought it from the Microsoft store, purely because all Steam are doing is repackaging it, and that's just another layer of complexity that can go wrong. Someone's saying a very good point. We've gone and programmed the route in, but I've not actually told the aeroplane to follow it at all. So we ought to do that. So if we change we'll go to heading mode first so we don't get any route surprises. And as someone was saying, you can press, both mouse buttons will press in the knob. That's a new one on me, I didn't know about that. So then we can change the CDI mode over to GPS, so obviously we're going the wrong direction. So you can see on the map, we are to the left of the track, so if we zoom in. So if we go nav mode, the aeroplane will naturally turn right to go and reacquire the track. So if we say nav, so it says GPS and heading, it's because it's too far away. Yeah. So you have to use the heading mode yourself. It won't perform wonders. We'll put ourselves on an intercept course. Usually it's when we get within 1 dot on the CDI gauge. It will capture and it will just go purely to GPS instead of GPS and heading. So if we go, we can't request the route from the avionics. That's annoying, isn't it? You'd have to do it all pre-flight in the tablet. You can't do it when you're in the air. That's annoying. Mind you, we are kind of hacking the aeroplane as we go. So yeah, you'll see the CDI come in when we get a bit closer to the track. It's a bit interesting that it's a circular marker and not an aeroplane. I wonder if there's an option for that in the depths of the system somewhere. Doesn't look like it. We could put north up on. So it's on orientation at the moment, isn't it? So if we said north up and press enter, it's going to take no notice of it. That's something else that doesn't work then. They've got a lot to work on, haven't they? So, just out of interest, we are now following a GPS track. So rather than having this waypoint here, we behave as if that never existed. It's coming back into the GPS track, which is a straight line obviously down to PYE, and then append some propellant at the end. So this is the track we're actually following. So the aeroplane will naturally turn on its own in a moment. Did we put the lights on? They're not very bright, are they? The strobe isn't on. Are they actually working? So something else we've missed. Or are they just bugged? And the nav lights don't appear to work on the Cessna. The landing light works, and the strobe works, as I saw it earlier. Unless it is, and you just can't see it in daylight very well. Should we? No, I'm not going to monkey with the time. Whoa! That doesn't look inviting at all. So before we go into this cloud, I was just going to go and check actually what the terrain is like. So yeah, we're fine. We're at 5,000 feet, aren't we? So we're going to stay well above the hills if we stay on the track. Well, that's not very inviting around us at all, is it? We're about to go through the worst cloud ever. We're having a job getting any speed. Pushing the throttle all the way forwards to see if we... I doubt it will overheat because the Asobo planes don't tend to simulate engines too well. Well, this is a fun sightseeing flight, isn't it? You can just about see some hills below us. Is the Antonov 2 compatible? I don't know. I've only loaded like 2 aeroplanes so far. Hello! That is quite spooky, isn't it, having such a realistic looking co-pilot? Very well done. The eyes are a bit strange, but the skin is amazing. Very, very nice. Does anybody know how to get the company started? I imagine you have to earn it. It's going to be a grind like any other game of this sort, isn't it? Don't tell anybody I just called it a game, they'll lynch me. The eyes are off, but the skin is nice. Sounds like a line from a horror movie. Very good. So, should we look outside? Oh, you can see the bloom from our landing light in front of us. Very cool. Somewhere below us is the ground. This is where you have to trust your instruments. And this is why you check that things are working before you take off. In case you find yourself in this situation where you are operating completely blind. The engine's pushing it a bit too hard. I'm going to put it back. The airplane doesn't like these conditions one little bit, does it? We've got a 30 knot crosswind. I'm hoping it's not going to be too bad at the destination, otherwise we may have a few problems landing. Get myself into these situations in the simulator. See anything below us at the moment? No. Anything above us? No. Pea Soup Simulator. course, we could just go and turn the weather off, then you get to watch the nice scenery fluttering past. So if we went weather off, there it goes. We'll go a few clouds maybe. A fluffy cloud kind of day. Oh, they look like cotton wool, don't they? Should we go for high altitude clouds maybe? Is that still an option? High level clouds, that's better. So let's descend a couple thousand feet. So let's test our autopilot skills again then. Alt, altitude, we want 3,000 feet please. Let's do flight level change to get that. So we should be able to just pull the throttle. So I think I'm right in saying in the Cessna, flight level change measures your speed at the point you press it. Then you get the target here, and then you can manipulate that obviously. So one of the knobs manipulates speed. Good question actually. How do you manipulate the speed bug? Presumably if I just release and recapture, yeah. I'm not sure you can actually move the speed bug yourself. You just switch it on and off to see whatever the speed is you're doing, which makes sense. So we're coming down to 3,000 feet, so we can go and put the fuel back on rich. It's a shame we can't get a plan into this while we're in flight, isn't it? I wonder if we did it via load flight plan. Oh no, it's locked out while we're in flight. But we could put the intermediate waypoints in though. So ENI. And then PYE. And then the destination airport, we're not allowed to choose because we're doing this in flight, which is really frustrating. But at least we can do waypoints. I wonder if we can put an airport in then as a waypoint if we can't do the full flight plan. CA35. Yes, we can. So we can get around it that way. So then if we zoom out, yeah, that's good. Very cool. There's lots of layers in here as well you can choose from, so you can have a weather radar showing up on it. So I wonder if that reflects the weather you are using. So if we went back to live weather, obviously it does, it reflects what the simulator's got in the air. So if we went, yeah, to live weather, which was horrific. I just want to go and have a look. Oh, that's good, isn't it? Oh my word. Yeah, good luck landing with that. You wouldn't be flying. End of story. So let's go back to high level clouds. It proves it works though. Well, we were going to check while we're doing this, we may as well go and check this and see if the nav lights actually work. Because we were a bit suspicious of them, weren't we? Oh, they are working. They're just in the daytime, you can't see them very easily. Just reading Joshua's comment there, that when I'm in the cloud it won't have to be loading the scenery. Have any of you looked at the amount of data this thing sucks out of the cloud? It's ridiculous. If you go Task Manager and pull up the Wi-Fi chart, watch this graph look. Actually that's pretty low. We were in the Grand Canyon the other day trying this out and it was hitting about 50 meg. So over normal territory it's not too bad. So when we get closer to San Francisco it will probably change its tune enormously. You can see CPU's humming along at 40%. RAM is using 29 out of 64. GPU's hardly being hit. It's just trundling along. Whereabouts are we in the world? I guess we can figure this out by looking on the map, can't we, in the airplane these days? We don't have to rely on third-party tools so much anymore. So if we go in and look on this and zoom in, and then put some of the layers on for information. Map settings, weather, navigation. Obstacles, terrain, traffic. Oh, okay. I thought it might show more information than that. How's Navigraph? So we were looking at the flight planner, I guess. Pilot book. Settings, favorites. Tablet size. That doesn't change anything though. Nor does that. Interesting. Flight planner. So there's the PYE VOR. So how does Navigraph work? Presumably it's the normal Navigraph integration. So if I say sign in, it will show me a 2D barcode maybe? Or not work at all? It's got Simbrief dispatch in here as well. No, it's not having it, is it? How does Simbrief work then? Aha, Simbrief is going to do it then. I wonder if this will allow me into both Navigraph and Simbrief. So I've just logged in with my phone. So that's in. So you can do a new flight. So we'll do the one we're doing. A new version. Click to reload. That's fun. Simbrief by Navigraph. VFA 123. We went from D83. We're going to. Whoops. What did I just do? Oh, the tab key puts it into a floating window. CA35. Aircraft type C172. So it's working out the flight plan for us, which we're going to disregard. And we're going to say, no, we're not doing that. Don't be silly. We're going via. Actually, no, that's not so different to what we're doing, is it? End of C now. ENI, PYE. But it's added some extra bits on. We'll just delete that bit. Whoops. So you can't use the backspace key. Which makes it interesting to get rid of things. Analyze route. This route is valid. Well, of course it is. It's just a direct route. Generate the operational flight plan. And there we go. So we can import that route straight into the sim. That's rather clever. Well, does that mean import it into the aeroplane or import it into this tablet? Presumably into this tablet. Simbrief flight plan has been imported. So if we go now into flight planner and zoom out, we appear to have lost our flight plan. Oh dear. Yeah, it's gone. I try these things so you don't have to. So does that mean, yeah, we've gone to roll hold mode? Great. So, but that means now we can do both mouse buttons on the heading knob and it works. So we're going to go along the coast anyway. We'll go coast hopping on the way into the San Francisco Bay, shall we? So this is the Point Reyes National Seashore. So where's the lighthouse? Is it right out on the headland? There. Do you think it's in the sim? Should we go and find out? So, we want autopilot off. going to go and buzz the beach. Going a bit fast. Lift the nose. Roger's asking which version of the sim I bought. I went and bought the top one just to find out what was in it. Luckily I have a little bit of expendable income because of the YouTube channel, which pays for buying aeroplanes and stuff. And obviously I haven't been buying many for a while because we were all waiting for 2024 to come out. Of course I do have a hole in my bank account the size of a meteorite strike from this computer, which is going to take many months to pay. But yeah, I went and bought the I forgot what it's called, the Aviator pack, is it? Yeah, this is too calm, isn't it? That's the only problem with the default weather settings, is they always look a bit too calm. If we go and set this ground level wind to a bit more windy, then you get some surface waves showing up. Not quite that windy though, hey? So when Asobo fix the controllers configuration, I will do a video on setting it up. At the moment there's not much you can do about the sensitivity curves. It's all a bit broken. So I imagine there's going to be a version 1.1 coming out fairly quickly. Yeah, if you go into the... I'll show you, if I just pause it for a moment. If you go into settings and look at controls, and you've obviously got the devices, so you would say go and pick the joystick, and you say, okay, I want to set it up. And if I stir the joystick around, nothing moves. So you've got no way of knowing what you've done. None of the... the curves are working, but the dots don't move. So you can't see what you've done in terms of throwing the joystick. Or any of the, the axes, and you can't see which lever's which because of that either. So someone's saying there's an update released today. I just launched the simulator a couple of hours ago, and it would have detected it, wouldn't it? Unless it's in the last couple of hours. So we're just going out towards the Point Reyes Lighthouse to see if it's modelled. I don't think it's going to be somehow. I don't think it's been in any of the special packs. Aha, so just after I launched it earlier then, there must have been an update released. So this started out doing missions this evening, didn't it? And we rapidly kind of diverted into flying all over the west coast of the US. Yeah, it's not modelled. That's a shame. It would be... See, there's the path. Goes down to it, and it's missing. So let's try slew out to get back on track. So, just looking at this, these rocks have had higher resolution scans done on them. Interesting. All we need now is the... I'm not sure how far out are the Farallon Islands off the bay. Would you not be able to see them from here?
Salinas Airport information, Golf 220, Zulu. Wind 257 at 17. Visibility,
Picking up ATIS.
Sky condition, clear. Temperature, 15. Dew point, 1 tree. Altimeter 29er, 9er2.15.
Go close to the water and see what it looks like. Everything's an experiment at the moment with the sim, isn't it? Just trying things out and learning as we go. I think the big lesson tonight was the 2 buttons on the knobs on the G1000. Whether that's intentional, I don't know. It seems very odd. I don't want to get much lower than that because the swell is big enough that it'll just tip us in. Trees are a lot better, aren't they? They change with the seasons as well. I don't know if anybody's seen that. This beach looks a bit too bumpy to land on, to be honest, but we'll have a go.
Stall. Stall.
No, I knew that was going to happen. Oh well. Because the bumps just... The physics are so much better now, you can't get away with it. The houses look amazing, don't they?
500.
So I guess this is the Marine Headlands, is it? Up here? Aha, so the MFDs are working correctly after the update. Good to know. I've been reading a few bits and pieces of stories, but I literally haven't... when I've been flying this online, it's the only times I've seen the sim so far. I've been so busy with other things. It's been a bit of a nightmare, to be honest. But I'm quite glad I didn't book the week off, because with the problems they experienced on Tuesday and Wednesday, I think I would have been quite annoyed. Just have a quick look on the map. Yeah, so it's Muir Woods up above us there, look. If anybody's wondering, Muir Woods is where Return of the Jedi was filmed. The only reason I know that is because my cousin used to live up there. When she was little, there were film crews in the woods behind the house. I think she's too young to remember it properly. Hey, we can see the Golden Gate through the trees.
500.
Although somehow labels have been turned on. Or no, that's a glitch. Some letters turned up in the distance, and they've done it again. Okay, why have we got labels coming on? What have we pressed? What is causing those labels? Or is it a bug? That's a bug, isn't it? It's having an absolute fit. quite amusing. Yes. I think it's time I shut the sim down and went and updated it. Oh, they're the boat names. So for some reason it's giving boats names. Okay, let's see if we can find that in the settings. Labels, boat labels, auto. That's just to do with controlling the aircraft, isn't it? Accessibility, subtitles, no. Effects and animations, no. Controls, keyboard. No. You thought it would be called a label, wouldn't you? What would they be called? Let's have a look. No. Traffic nameplates. We'll turn those off anyway. Show pre-flight pins. No. You'd think it would be these, wouldn't you? The city, boat, show the white dot. I think it's a bug. And it stopped doing it now. So one of those tick boxes did it by accident. Does look good, doesn't it? So is it actually mapping all the boats that are really out there? So if we went and looked out in the ocean, will we see tankers and things? I know it was talked about during the development of the game. I don't know if they've enabled it yet. Bridge is done well, isn't it? But you'd expect it to be, I guess. It's a custom piece of rendering. So you're going to have a look at Alcatraz. Head over towards the Coit Tower and that side of the city and have a nose around. Many years ago I visited Alcatraz. I think they've got a few too many trees. Unless they've all grown since I visited, but it used to be quite barren. We were doing missions earlier on. I'm just reading the live stream chat there, and we did 4 or 5 missions, and then realised the missions really aren't that much, so we went exploring. So if we go back into the aeroplane, so it's the Coit Tower, is it here? I think. Seem to remember. They haven't fixed the Minecraft trees, have they? They've probably got bigger fish to fry than fixing specific monuments and architectural features. America Pyramid. I'm trying to remember, it's a long time since I've had a proper look around San Francisco. Have they still got the restaurant with the rotating roof on it? I've forgotten what it was called. Is it a Hyatt Regency or something? There it is. I don't expect it rotates though. It'll be very static, I would imagine. I'm just going to loop around and come back to see this ship over here. Just reading the live stream comments there. I've had a quick go on the career mode earlier in this session. We did several of the flights. It's interesting. Should we end this and we'll go and have a look and explore around it again? Just, you know, some of the things you can do in it. But it seems to be a bit of a grind like any of these sort of games. There's a runway just up the way here, isn't there? I'm trying to remember where it is. On the map. I thought that was. Maybe it's further along, isn't it? Yeah, I'm thinking of San Carlos. I'm going to cheat. And to get us down on the ground, I'm going to press Shift and Z and then rotate us around. Go down past San Francisco International and go to San Carlos. Oh, for those of you who want to go and see, I guess we'll fly past San Francisco just to get to see the aeroplanes. It's going to load up with data now as we pass over. There's probably not much flying because the weather was absolutely atrocious in the real world. Although it could be different this far down the bay, but no, the radar was just lit up like a Christmas tree. This is the first time I've seen the sim stutter. It's the first time I've seen it struggle. Okay, so we're carrying on down towards San Carlos. Let's press Shift and Z again. It's down here somewhere. There it is. Okay, so wind is from behind us at how many knots? 16, 17? So we're going to do left patterning. Very unconventional landing, but we got down. Where should we park? I'll spin around and try and put it here. The nose wheel steering is not going to have it, is it? We've already left the tyre mark down there. You'd think it would steer a bit more sharply than that, wouldn't you? Just avoid their wing. Okay. So yes, we were going to go and have a look at the missions again, weren't we? So let's come back out. Whoops. Main menu. I never really did missions previously, so it's all been a bit new for me. So if we go and have a look at careers. So earlier on we went through certification and I'd already got the PPL, but we went and did the CPL, the commercial pilot license, and somebody told me in the live stream to just go and sit the exam, and we did it, and it was so simple, it was ridiculous. And even though we didn't do brilliantly, or so we thought, still got an A. And then we went on and did a mission and got an S, whatever S stands for, super duper or something like that. So we've unlocked flight seeing now, whatever that means. So as you progress, you unlock more types of flight. So I'm guessing these are the icons with cameras on, are flight seeing. So should we go and see what that is? So these are the different missions we can do. And it seems to be based on where you last, your aircraft stays with where you last were. San Marco Square Tour, what would it involve? Let's go and have a look. Elena Montanari and her mum were inspired by a travel magazine feature to book an aerial discovery tour of Venice. Give your passengers the full VIP treatment and make this flight a memorable experience. So it's a figure-8 trek, basically, just following rectangles in the sky. Obviously, and the ulterior motive of all of these things is they're going to... Sorry, the head tracking is working again, isn't it? I'm going to turn it off. The ulterior motive of all of these things in the sim is to show off scenery. So it's loosely cloaked in a mission is to go and show you somewhere that they've done some modelling on. But I think the thing that not wound me up, wound up is the wrong word. In the certification tests, it really wasn't testing anything. It was asking you to press Control E, for example, to start the airplane. It wasn't expecting you to go through the checklist, which I would have imagined it should have. But as we had this conversation earlier, I think it's because it's targeting the gamers who aren't interested in actually how an aeroplane is operated. They're interested in getting from A to B, which is, you know, it's no bad thing. It's just that it's a different audience. So this gamified part of it is for a very different audience than the people who want study level aeroplanes or who use Simbrief or who use Navigraph. It's a very, very different audience. But yeah, it'll be fun though once you get through certification to go and do. So you can see here, there's an instrument rating there, which is going to be just garbage. It won't actually be testing you. It's a jet engine rating, jet airline transport, heavy airliner rating. It's a very, very odd. And there's a whole helicopter branch over here going out to the big Sikorskis and stuff like that. So there's a tail dragger endorsement. That's interesting. High performance. That's going to be the turboprops, isn't it? Lately. Again, it's an excuse for them to show off their new aeroplane. So after you pass that, you unlock these for missions, and so it's a typical gamified grind, basically. It is nice though. It's well thought out. Can you do anything with any of these props? Is there any Easter eggs? Don't think so. So I probably will do some more of the missions, but I doubt if I'll stream them because it was quite boring to watch, wasn't it? Watching somebody fly through rectangles. So Klaus is saying the sim. I don't think that's fair to say it wasn't developed for pilots or real pilots or sim pilots or real pilots. It's for everybody. So this gamified part of it is obviously for a lower. The bar has been set lower to allow people in, you know, to make it more accessible to people who just don't know. You're still going to get the likes of going to Virtual Flight Online if you want to go and do proper airline type stuff. If none of you have seen this, this is the community that I founded, where there's a full airline. We need to fix it actually because the ACARS client isn't working with 24, I don't think just yet. But yeah, you can see there's only 2 people on. Usually there'd be sort of 10 or 12 in the air at once. But this does some crazy stuff compared to anything you're going to see in Flight Sim. I'll pull up a flight log just to show you. So if we go in and look at my profile and look at a recent flight, maybe Pyreps. So there's the most recent one I did months ago now. Look. So you can see the exact route. You can see the full monetary breakdown of the flight. You can see the flight log of everything that happened. I got judged on it as well. It scores you according to everything you do. So yeah, it's a whole different world when you go down this road and you're seeing, you know, anything you did wrong along the way. So it doesn't look like I did too much wrong. What score did I get? 80%. Wonder what I failed on then. Load info. That was how many passengers we had. I can't remember how it works. That's really bad, isn't it? Pirate fields. What did I do wrong? Obviously did something wrong. But anyway, it gives you some idea though. There are airlines out there where you can plug an ACARS client into the jet, follow a given instruction. It's up to you to go and get the route from Simbrief and get an operational flight plan and interpret it and to operate the plane appropriately and all the rest of it. So yeah, there are airlines out there with ACARS clients. How did you sell 1,000 worth of duty free on the flight? Well, if you've got 300 passengers, it's not going to take much, is it? If a few people buy some cheap drink or very expensive drink. So what's in activities then? Has anybody looked at any of this stuff? I haven't. So flight training, rally races, low altitude, landing challenges. That looks like good fun. Red Bull Air Race. No, waste of time. National Championship Air Races. I guess that's because Reno shut down the year they released the Reno pack, didn't it? Discovery flights and custom content. Interesting. So what else do we get? A world photographer. I have no idea what this is. So you have to go and take pretty pictures. So again, this is marking their own homework, basically. It's taking you to places that they know they've worked on, which isn't such a bad idea. So go and visit the Sphinx and take some pictures. What are you supposed to do? Fly in with a helicopter or something? Or with probably with an electric drone these days. Very cool. Ah, so they've gone and made the very, is it the Very Large Array it's called, the VLA? Yeah, so it's basically a showcase for things that they've done. And there's the bug with the with the spinning world. Anyway, I'm going to call it an evening, and hopefully see you again soon. I'm going to go and update my sim and then call it a night, I think. So thanks ever so much to those that have been watching. Please do subscribe to the channel and hit like on the video. I never forget. I never remember to ask any of those things. I don't like asking. I'd rather people just, if they like something, click like themselves. It always seems a bit like begging, and I don't get on well with that. Or these overly commercial people on YouTube that, I don't know, think they're their own legends in their own lunchtime, maybe. Anyway, take care, and I'll see you all again soon.